Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. So as you can tell, we're on this little pond. We're dumping in off the side of the road basically here, but you can see that it is super windy. You can already hear that. I'm gonna try to block that mic so you can hear me a little bit here. Welcome back again, like I said, to another episode of Catching with Craig. Let me see if I can get this behind me. There we go. Maybe that'll work out better. Sorry guys, it's gonna be a windy day. I don't know how great this video is gonna turn out because of how windy it is. I'm trying to block the mic. I do have a mic on this, but sometimes it just gets rough. So bear with me here, guys, but we're gonna try to do some fishing here. This is a little pond off the side of the road basically. We're gonna drop in here and dump in the electric. Probably gonna be a rough day in terms of like traveling as well. It's electric only, so we'll do our best. Maybe I'll tuck in here in the truck, but we're gonna do our best. Bass in here, and then the occasional tiger muskie. They haven't been stocked in like 10 years, so I guess that would be a fun rare catch. So let's just give it our best. All right, so we are making our way to the opposite shoreline here. Obviously, like you know, with the wind, we're getting beat up a bit in an electric boat. So we're gonna make our way across. And on the way, I'm throwing just a little Kitech just to pick apart some of these weeds. There's a big milfoil patch on the outside edge, followed up by some pads, small pads on the inside. And then there's these, like, I don't know what this is that tops off. Not sure what this is specifically called, but this is scattered here and there all around too. So if we can just find where this weed touches the milfoil, you'll see that transition, and then a lot of times you'll find fish sitting in those transitions. So like right here, it just changed the milfoil, but I would need to be able to kind of like sit down and Texas rig punch that. But over here, we're obviously gonna have some issues with the wind blowing us apart so bad. So we're making our way across and gonna try to find similar circumstances across the side of the lake. Again, sorry about the wind, but that's kind of gonna be what it's like. So as we've crossed this lake, what I've realized is that it's basically all just flats and milfoil and that other weed. I'm not sure what that one is. Sorry, I'll try to block the mic again. So really, with a bowl like this or a basin style lake, and it's just like continuous, the same all throughout the whole lake is just milfoil basically. What we do is if we can find any sort of structure, any sort of rock, any sort of laydowns or wood or something on the bottom, anything that would cause a difference basically, is where we're gonna find the fish. In this case, we might find these fish out in the middle of this lake where the lake finally gets too deep, and the structure will be the separation of the milfoil stopping, like that weed line. Because out here fishing in this general vicinity of all of this, like here we finally got out of the milfoil a little bit. So in a place like this now, you might be able to find fish here where they finally have stepped off of the milfoil edge, and we just find the edge and fish the edge. Because fishing up in this dense weed is a needle in a haystack. It'd be like picking apart nothing all day. You could throw 1,000 casts and never actually hit a fish because you never actually physically hit a fish. It's just milfoil, and it's thick, like punching for the entire shoreline. And I don't know, probably what, a quarter mile off the shoreline. I mean, it's a long way if you think about it, how deep it actually goes back, and you're still sitting in milfoil. Like this is just dense weeds. Pads, and more pads. That's crazy. First hit, second hit, but first decent hit right there. It's just something small though. There he is again right there. Look at, it's a perch or a bass, something small. Just pecking the crap out of that Kitech. He's small though. Grabbing the tail, shaking his head. Little. Just a little guy, but look how yellow he is. Came on the Ayuk high-tech. Just very, very gold. You can tell they're just soaking in that grass. Give this guy a quick release. Whoop. Yeah, he picked it up on the fall. He was out deep. It could be. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, it really worked for my boat too. Weird. I always feel like people that oh, woo! There's a little guy in the jig finally, guys. Tiny little guy in the jig. Came on a little brown jig of some sort. Yeah, man, he smacked it on the way down. All right, guys, so we're gonna wrap this up here. My dad is backing up the boat. He is going to load or back up the truck to the boat, load that, and told me to throw out this bank here for a few seconds. We have this this dam obviously that's here, and there's a bunch of rock in front of it. You saw that I got him on that little Kitech, sort of similar to whatever else I do. A lot of that, just a confidence bait, but it's also a good search bait. And especially along this rock ledge here, you got this seawall. It's a man-made seawall. That's obviously where the dam is. So there's gonna be rock in front of it that's kind of like falling down. And when they poured all this concrete, it creates this natural barrier that these fish and bait get pushed up against. And you also have this current here. So sometimes you can just get them sitting on this edge here. See rock. I also see fish. Oh God. There you go. Bass sitting right on the edge of the shoreline, and look at how he inhaled that. Hope you guys can see that. He really wanted it. Just crazy. You can get him off this bank just fishing from shore. You don't always have to have a boat. You can really do, I mean, he's not a big fish, but he's a fish. It's something to do, something fun. He's sitting right on this shoreline here, and I'm only about 3 feet above the water here. I just knew that there'd be bass sitting against this because the bait gets pushed against it. And this rock, we had a real cold rain last night, and in front of this is just a ton of rock. And that guy was sitting right on the outside edge of this current here against the rock. So what he's doing is the current's flowing through this outflow here, and he's sitting right on the edge of it in the slack water against the rock, which held heat all night. This concrete held heat all night. Water came down. We got a lot of rain last night. It was real cold. And then the current's pulling through, pulling bait down, and it's gonna push the bait through that gets caught. So then the fish was sitting on the outside edge of this current right here on the corner and catching bait as it came through. So he has everything he needs right here. A way to get food in the current, a way to stay out of the current, and a way to stay warm against the rock. So he has literally everything he needs. I probably should be able to get one on that other side too if I wasn't such a crappy cast. The wind sucked that right on top of the concrete. Got to give it a little further out cast so that when the wind takes it, there we go. So I should be able to replicate that one more time. There should be a fish sitting on the other side too in that current, or in the slack water next to the current along that wall. This breaker wall just gives them the perfect ambush point. Maybe not. Maybe I only had one guy there. But as soon as my bait comes in front of that current, you can see it gets sucked right down in there. It's a lot of moving water. A lot of natural current there because of the artificial dam, technically. But it created a current. Alright guys, well that's the end of this video. So we're back at the house, we just had some lunch and took a little bit of a break, and I guess I have to drive home now. So I got about a 5.5 hour drive back to my house, so we're gonna get started on it. It's about 1 o'clock now, so we're already on our way to like a 7 o'clock night once we make a stop or so. So anyway, not a bad day, just a couple little fish. Two on a kayak and one on a jig. I missed one of them. It was just a baby. I was changing out a battery and missed the fish catch, and so 3 total. You saw that one came off the rock ledge, which was pretty cool. It's just an easy way to call a bite, basically. And the jig bite was pretty fun too, through the pads. If the wind wasn't blowing so bad, we could have sat there a little bit longer and probably got more of those. But anyway, I hope you liked the video. Thanks for sticking to the end. And if you can, hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button down below. And I guess until next time, just roll that music.